Hello and welcome to another audio analysis. In today's video we'll be taking a look at the track Countdown to Shutdown by the Swedish rock band The Hives. This is the second track to be released from their upcoming 6th studio album The Death of Randy Fitzsimmons, which does see the end of the character arc for Randy, who is effectively this fictitious character that's their manager. He put the band together, he writes all the songs, he does absolutely everything for them, but he's completely made up. The band certainly made a grand entrance with Bogus Operandi, really showing that despite being away for almost 11 years, they can return straight to their throne, being the main offender when it comes to producing some strong garage rock. The track really showed all the elements that does make this band so iconic, just their silliness, the layering of the vocals that they've used in previous tracks as well, and their rough around the edges music, which really cements them as being one of the bands that certainly lives to that old traditional style of rock and roll, not having everything overly polished and refined. So will this latest track prove to be a countdown to celebration or the shutdown of their operation? Let's take a look at exactly how it sounds. Well, it's certainly a much calmer intro than what we did see on Bogus Operandi. That could change very, very quickly. Okay, already I love some of the things we're getting in this track. I love the sliding, scaling guitars into the 4-3-2-1, really just setting it up. We get hit in the face with this aggression that we know and love from the Hives in almost all of their music. This really sharp intro with the countdown, really fitting in with the theme of the song with the numbers and then the actual title being referenced. Also the very slick bass really as well, just again setting the tone. And off this first verse, I love that opening line. This guy Maslow, he had a ladder. It's referencing to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is the building blocks that people need to kind of feel like they have fulfillment in life. It starts off at the bottom with things like food, water, the essentials. Then you have things like security, then building off of like empathy, loved ones around you. And at the top of that pyramid or that ladder is self-actualization, where you kind of just really function. You feel like you've hit the top almost and you are a complete human being. So you kind of have to achieve these stages. But I like how it also references this track off that first verse, this idea of power. You used to get up there. What's the view like from up there where you can't see the bottom of the stairs? So you kind of no longer look down on the bottom of the ladder. So it talks about the idea of kind of power hierarchy, but also does it through Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which I really, really do like.
And so it goes around the world. A million boys in love with a dozen girls tighten the screw, but not for you, till they can't figure out what to do. It goes 4, 3, 2, 1, countdown to shut down.
Okay, I love the quirkiness of their videos. It's just something I would love and expect from the band, and they just never show any signs of slowing down with the fun that they do have. They are coming for the crown. They are going to tear it down. This idea that the people at the bottom of the ladder are coming for your position of power. They're looking to tear you down. So there's already different things that you can be shown through this. It can be to reference to this idea of power, the kind of people below you coming for you, but it could also be the people in life that don't feel like they have everything. They kind of try and tear down people that feel like they do have everything emotionally, certainly. So I like the reference that we have got there. There's two different ways of looking at it. We're just looking at bringing down people above you, but not tying it to one specific idea. I fully guarantee repeating history. So sometimes you can tear down the good leaders. Sometimes you can tear down the bad ones. The idea of shutdown, kind of bringing things crumbling down almost. I love the lyrics and how they are so simple and easy to understand, but also tying some really interesting ideas as well.
Into the promised land, survive but know the man ain't never
I love with the visuals. I don't know if you know, but that guy with the bald head was Dr. Matt Destruction, who was the Hives' former bassist from 93 until 2013. So great to see him putting in a little cameo into the video. It's really getting him back, even though he's moved on from the band and hasn't performed with them since the release of their previous album. It's still great to see that involvement. And again, the idea of Ponzi schemes coming in, the idea of con artists and things like that. And the world is like a head of hair, some are waiting for their shit. I love how it's just making such silly things just kind of fit in this metaphoric idea. Some are bald, one is a billionaire. You're really showing this variety, this idea that sometimes your cards are dealt. Some people go bald at an early age. I'm a good example of that. But then you've got other people that can kind of have a head of hair up until their 60s, 70s. So sometimes life isn't always either fair, life isn't always kind of pre-decided. So it's really touching on some interesting ideas, really these ideas of just how sometimes it's not always your choice as to how much self-actualization you have. So they're touching on these elements very, very cleverly and wrapping it in a very interesting style and an interesting track.
It's an enigma wrapped in a riddle and shrouded in a mystery. Got all the facts, got all the figures, but with all of them you disagree. It goes 4, 3, 2, 1, countdown to shutdown. Woo!
I love just how so much fun they put into their videos. Just I was not expecting that, just that flop, that thud into the ground. It's just so perfect how it just fits in just with this idea of collapsing, kind of you being at the top and kind of hitting rock bottom. Everything kind of, you can tie this into maybe the idea of midlife crisis, when things start to fall apart around you and you think you've got everything and you just flop straight to the ground, as we can see very clearly in the video as well. So just even the visuals making great reference to the ideas they're trying to convey.
Shut down! Woo! Into the promised land, survive unknown and man. Ain't never gonna quit, look out baby, this is it. Shut up. 4, 3, 2, 1, countdown to shut down. Countdown to shut down. Shut down! Countdown to shut down! Shut down! Shut down! Shut down! Countdown to shut down!
I absolutely adore that. I absolutely loved it. I just love the messaging they have included. Into the promised land, supply but no demand. So the idea that this promised land is there, but there's no demand for it because it's this world that you've created for yourself. And even with the actual visuals as well, kind of having the younger version come for the older version and really tear them down. So you can really see this transition into generations. There's so many different ideas being explored through this music video and the actual lyrics as well that I just really do enjoy what the band do. I love how they wrap it in just elements of silliness but still convey such a strong message through the music, through the meaning as well. And I actually would say I prefer this over Bogus Operandi. It's a barrel of fun, and it's certainly just a very simple track. It's just that typical garage rock. It doesn't have to overcomplicate things. It doesn't have to throw in loads of lyrics. Even the ones they do throw in are certainly packed full of meaning, and it just shows the ability of the band to write such strong tracks even after such a long time away. And I really cannot wait to hear this album in full, because these first 2 singles have really shown a massive amount of development for the band, not only in just the actual musical style, because they've kept a lot of the elements the same, but actually certainly in the songwriting that they have included in this. And one thing to note as well is actually they didn't include one main thing they usually do see in most of their music, the layering of the vocals. This was just a one-man show, and I love how it reflects the idea of kind of someone being at the top of the pyramid, so you don't need these layering of vocals because it's not a very inclusive track. So that will be everything for today's video, but please do feel free to let me know your thoughts about this track in the comments section below. How do you feel it lives up to Bogus Operandi? Do you prefer the first or the second single? I would really love to know your thoughts on which one grabs your attention the most of the 2. And as always, if you'd like to see more content like this, then please do feel free to subscribe, and I will see you in the next audio analysis.